What's up, YouTube? This is our 87 Cutlass Supreme. We're going to be doing a breakdown and changing the V-belts on this 307. First, we're going to remove the intake line and the negative terminal. You remove the negative terminal so it removes the ground completely from the vehicle. It's the first to come off and the last to go on. Now you got to lower the alternator. First you're going to loosen a 15mm nut, 13mm nut, and a 13mm bolt, and then 13mm adjuster. Lower, and then you can get the belt off. Now that we got the belt off the pulley, we need to save this belt. So we're going to feed it around the fan. If not, cut it off. You need to have a hole on this pulley for your power steering pump. Line up with this bolt down here in order to loosen this part of the adjustment for the pump and the reservoir. You can grab a hold of this spot right here with a pipe wrench, and then there's also going to be a bolt underneath, and bolt or nut, and we'll show that here in a second. You take your pipe wrench, you can put it on here, and you're able to turn it, and then you line it up, and your 15mm socket will slide right in there. This is for that top bolt. Now let's go underneath, and I'll show you underneath what to do. That's that bolt right there. I think that's another 15mm. Break that free and you're able to use the pry bar up at the top of the reservoir and move the power steering pump over. So now you take your pry bar, put it in here, rest it against the power steering pump reservoir, pry against the bracket, and slide the pump over. Now you walk it around, do the same thing around the fan with the belt. If not, you don't need to save it. Cut it off. I forgot underneath that's not a 15mm, it's a 13mm bolt underneath there that you gotta loosen. Now for the AC compressor, first we got to zip tie our heater hose up out of the way. Okay. Next you got to loosen 15mm bolt, 15mm nut with the bolt head back here, and then there's a lock that's 15mm bolt head and nut back here. Loosen that. Put your breaker bar or 1/2-inch drive ratchet in there. I'll go ahead and unplug this, get the wire out of the way. I've already loosened this here, 15mm, 2 ratchets, or 2 wrenches, a ratchet or a ratcheting wrench. This is just a ratchet here. Break that sucker free, and then be careful of your AC line and break this one free. You can move that down by hand, throw a brake bar in pry it over to then get this belt off. Put your pry bar in there, pry your AC compressor over, gives you enough, slide the belt out. And then if you need to, feed it around. If not, cut it off. Use tin snips, something sharp. Once you got your belt out, around your fan. Inspect all your pulleys, make sure all the grooves are clear, none of the belt is in any of it, any belt materials left in any of the pulleys. Alternator, compressor, power steering pump, make sure they're all clean. Harmonic balancers all clean. Fans all clean. Now we'll reverse everything with our new belts and put it all back together. Now I'm going to show you how to feed the belts behind the fan. You feed it behind one blade and then just spin the fan all the way around with your new belt. Once you get it past all the fan blades, she's around the fan pulley. Then you work at your harmonic balancer, AC compressor, and small pump, emissions pump, whatever people call it. So now that we got all the pulleys wrapped around, we're on the last part for under the harmonic balancer for this AC compressor belt. Get it started right like that. Now you're gonna take breaker bar and slowly turn the motor over. If your belts are real tight, and you can just walk it right around. And now you'll be in all four pulleys, whatever this one goes on. You'll be in all the grooves. Now we'll go back up top and I'll show you how to tighten the AC belt. So a 1/2 inch breaker bar or ratchet. And then you're going to snug this bolt up so that once you pull the belt tight, you just use this ratchet here, snug everything up, and then snug up the bottom bolt and nut here, and then the AC compressor is good. Then do a pull test on the belt. We'll do that here in just a second. You're going to pull your breaker bar or ratchet, check your tension on your belt, and then ratchet this bolt tight while you tighten everything else up. Now you're going to up this 15mm nut here, as well as this one down here. Take a ratchet and wrench and snug this bottom one up. Quick check on your belt. Just snug onto the power steering pump. I'm not going to show how to feed this one in. Once you got this power steering pump belt in, lay it in the grooves. You do the same exact way you did the AC compressor belt. Lay it in the grooves, and then we'll go down to the bottom to the harmonic balancer and do the same thing. Then a bolt hole for the power steering pump pulley's not lined up all the way. So you take your pipe wrench, I didn't show it earlier, grab a hold of it, just move her over, and she'll be lined up. And get this ratchet ready for tightening. So you take your pry bar, put it up against the reservoir, put it down here against the water pump, pry the reservoir over for the power steering pump, test your belt, and then tighten up where your ratchet's at. Once you've got this snugged up here, you can go down below and tighten up that 13mm bolt. Now that we got that one tight, got the bottom one tight, let's get this alternator belt in here. Now that we got our alternator belt in there, get it fed around the water pump pulley, and you're going to make sure your adjuster here is lined up with the stopper. Screw it all the way into it. You can use a ratchet, wrench. I use impact. Tighten the belt up. Check your tightness. Then tighten up your 13mm nut, 13mm bolt, and 15mm nut. And the alternator is done. Once all that stuff's snug, you take your intake line, pop that back on, fresh air, couple, and then reattach your negative terminal. Now that we've made sure that the alternator, power steering pump, and AC compressor belts and hardware is all tight, we'll fire it up. Squeeze, squeals, because then you got to adjust the belt some more. There she is. Now it's all done, we'll show the whole car. That's our 87 Cutlass. At the very end, I'll do a video covering all of the tools and belts that we put on this. You can go up ½ inch down, up or down or so on the lengths if need be to adjust, because AutoZone was a pain in the butt.